Hello, Lake Erie Council. Welcome back. I hope everybody had a great weekend. I sure had a nice weekend, and I enjoyed looking at all the fun pictures and the service and all that was done at the camp all this weekend. I'm back with Kaci and Jensen. We're excited to have them back today.
Yes.
We have Jensen, our wolf, and so he's excited to help us out today. Did you do anything fun this weekend, Kaci?
You know what? Saturday we spent the entire day outside. We actually were able to get some yard work done, cut the grass. Even though it was a little bit wet still, cut the grass, enjoy the sunshine. And then I did tune in to a lot of the camp role activities. And I loved it. People were pitching tents in their living room even and kind of still tuning in, and that was fantastic to see.
Awesome. Well, I'm glad to be back here. It's been a week or so since I've been have been with Den meetings, but you want to start out with a game today?
I do.
Okay. Does Jensen want to come play with us?
Yeah, I think he does.
Okay. So our game we're going to start off with is called Changing Winds.
Okay.
So what you have to do is you have to decide, okay, which is north, south, east, and west.
Okay.
So later on, we'll figure out how to figure it, but your wall is going to be north.
Okay.
I'm going to be south.
Okay.
East is going to be towards your security system.
All right.
And west is the other direction.
All right. I got it.
Okay. So when I say the wind blows south, you have to go south.
Okay.
Now, if you're still facing that direction, don't move, because if you move, then you're out.
It's kind of like Simon Says, right?
It is, but with direction.
So you have to pay attention. All right. I can do this.
Okay. Let's see. So the wind blows west. The wind blows north. The wind blows west. The wind blows east. The wind blows east. Oh, you didn't get.
You tried to get me. You tried to get me.
I did. Okay, let's try this. The wind goes west. The wind goes east. Wind goes west. Wind goes west. Oh, you lost. There you go. That's kind of a fun game to play. Have a bunch of people around and have some fun. But I am ready to get started. Let's see. I'm going to go over to Facebook to see if we have any comments or questions or see who's here real quick. But then we'll get started on our.
I'm always anxious to see the people that join us from all the different councils and kind of all across the United States and even further. I think one time we had somebody from Louisiana join us, and that's just fantastic. I love seeing that. Mm-hmm. So if you're from anywhere else, make sure you say hi.
Exactly. And tell us what your favorite direction is. So I have an affinity for north, but northeast actually. But that's because I live in the northeast of Ohio. Mm-hmm. But I don't know about you guys, but we have Brendan from Pact 67 from Twinsburg here.
Oh, hey, Brendan.
Nice. And we have Montero from Pact 3105 here.
All right.
I think cool. We've started to get a few people here. So
you know what, Brittany? I before we continue, you talked about your favorite direction. Yes. My favorite direction is west. West. So I prefer the western part of the United States. I like the desert where it's warm and dry during the day. And then, it gets cold at night, but I love that dry heat. So
yeah, my
go west if you're into that.
Mm-hmm. My parents like Colorado, actually.
Oh, yeah. I'm partial to Arizona, but yeah, for sure.
Mm-hmm. Oh, we have some more people joining us. Julia says she likes the West.
Girl.
Let's see. We have the Treens. I'm sorry if I said that wrong. They're from the Perry Pack 71. Ben. Awesome. So we're turning in now. I think we have a special helper, right, helping us with our opening today, or
you know what? I think he's excused himself. to the restroom.
Okay, no problem. So let's we can get started with Adam. So let's stand up. Oh, so Ben said we just made our neighborhood map yesterday. So Ben's on top of it. He started his map already.
All right.
Awesome. So
Do you want to go ahead and lead us, Brittany?
1 second. Ooh, Logan loves the north.
Logan. Hey, Logan.
Awesome. Let me just, do you want to do me a favor and mute yourself just for a second while we do it so we don't sound
Of course.
like we're echoing back and forth here. Okay. So here we go. If you can all join me, if you are in your uniform, you can salute. If you're not, put your right hand over your heart. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Okay, and now we're going to say the Scout oath and law. On my honor, I will do my best to do my duty to God and my country and to obey the Scout law, to help other people at all times, to keep myself physically strong, mentally awake, and morally straight. And then we're going to say the law. A Scout is trustworthy, loyal, helpful, friendly, courteous, kind, obedient, cheerful, thrifty, brave, clean, and reverent. 2. Okay, there we go. So we've started off our day. Now we're going to take a look and see what we're going to do, and then we're going to have some fun. Okay.
All right, I'm excited. I'm really excited about maps because I get lost going everywhere.
Me too.
So maps are our friends.
They are. Okay, so we have, if you guys are wanting to do it, go along with us, or in the future want to help watch and do this again, here are your materials. You're going to need a compass, some maps, which actually, when I was trying to get things together, I found it really hard to find maps, which was kind of a interesting thing. So I had to go online for a few, but Kaci found one. Then we have some paper and some crayons and colored pencils to make your maps with. So what we're going to do today is we're going to learn to read and use a map and a compass. We're going to introduce you to maps and symbols and different directions, like we just did in our game, and also the basic functions of a compass. So our requirements are, we're going to use a map of your city or town to locate where you live. We're going to draw a map for a friend so she can locate your home, park, or school, or somewhere else in your neighborhood. And you're going to also use symbols like parks and trees and buildings. Then number 2A, you're going to identify what a compass rose is and where it is on the map. 2B, you're going to use the compass to identify which direction is north and determine the different directions like we're talking about. And then at home, you guys can have your parents hide something for you and go on a scavenger hunt using a compass to locate the objects. And then finally, you can create, using a map and compass, create a hike or walk for your family to do. So I think I'm excited to get started. So let's get started on the first part, Kaci.
All right. All right, so do we all know what a compass rose is? Brittany, are you aware of what it is? What it's used for?
Well, if you think about the words, a rose is like petals, right? So different branches, it petals off.
Yep.
So, and we're talking about maps. So maybe it helps us find where we're going.
It does. And so actually, so it'll look like this. So a compass rose, you can find them on most maps, and it'll show you your cardinal directions. So your cardinal directions are north, south, east, and west, or west and east, where you're looking at it. And then also it has the intermediate points. So you'll have your north, northeast, northeast, then east, southeast, south, southeast. So all of these, the middle points from what you're seeing on your screen now. So that will all be included as well. So a lot of maps have it like really detailed, like I showed you here, where it has all these different little points. But then what Brittany has for you, those are your cardinal points. And then you can see in the middle. So obviously that's going to help you to know kind of what direction you're heading, whether you're due north, you're straight ahead, or if you're kind of like northeast or northwest. So like for you and I, Brittany, we both live in Northeast Ohio. So we are up and over, right? So a lot of people, you know, Northwest Ohio, I know I have some relatives that are in the northwestern part of the state. So they're kind of opposite. So when you're looking at a compass, for when you're trying to find your location or if you're out hiking, you know, it's going to kind of move like that depending on which direction you're going. So if I'm going to move my phone.
So if you're moving and you're trying to read it, do you go counterclockwise or clockwise?
You go clockwise, don't you?
Yes.
And yep, so you always want to kind of, if you're looking at your compass, you hold it, right? And wait till it stops moving, and that will be the direction that you're heading. So
Okay.
right now, that part of my house is kind of southwest of my area. So if I turn, okay, so right here, if I walk this way, this is north.
Okay, so we were really off when we were picking our directions before.
Yeah, yeah. Didn't we say this wall was north, right? So
Yeah.
this wall is technically northeast.
Okay.
We're northeast here.
So let's see. I would love to know. I know that we live in the Northeast, but it'd be awesome to see if people, where in the US do you live in the Northeast? Do you live in the South? Do you live in the West? Do you live in the East? That would be interesting to know in our comments.
And Brittany, did you actually know that? So if you didn't have kind of like your own compass, so I have one on my phone, so I always have one with me. A lot of our scouts and scouters obviously always carry a compass with them if they're out hiking, so they don't get lost and they kind of always know the direction they're going. Did you know you can actually make one?
Really? That's
you can
awesome.
make one yourself, and it's so cool. So a compass is basically, it's magnetized, right?
Mhm.
So there's a couple materials that you need, stuff you have at home, which is super awesome. A piece of paper. You need a paper clip or like a needle. So there's two ways you can do it. The way I have it is I have a circle piece of paper, I have a paper clip, and I have a magnet. Okay. I also have a bowl of water just to kind of show me which direction it's going. But you can actually also do it with a piece of paper, a sewing needle, and a piece of cork. So you can get that from like a bottle. Yeah, exactly. So you just kind of slice off a piece of cork. And the important thing to remember with your piece of metal, whether it be a paper clip or a sewing needle, obviously, first of all, be careful. Don't poke yourself. So that's kind of where you want mom and dad or grandma and grandpa, whoever takes care of you, to help out with that. So, so you're super safe. But you have to magnetize your piece of metal. So like right now, I just have a paper clip and it's not magnetized at all. It's not like going to stick to metal. So I have just some refrigerator magnets, and you can actually magnetize this, which it's actually really cool. So you can kind of make any piece of metal into like a magnet. So all you're going to do is you kind of just slide that over there for a while. So I read if you do like 10 to 15 seconds, it makes it magnetized. So I'll do a few more times there. And then I'm going to flip it over so I get both sides.
So did you know there's an easy way to remember while you're magnetizing that the direction you're supposed to go to learn your directions? So it's north, so it's never eat soggy waffles. So north, east, south, west. And guess what? Logan from Pack 3041, he knew that before we even said anything about that. So
Logan is my buddy. He is awesome. Never eat soggy waffles.
yes.
I don't like soggy waffles, so I will remember that forever.
Yeah. So if you need to remember, never eat soggy waffles.
All right. So now we've got that magnetized. So now it's sticking to my scissors, which is pretty cool. So what you do with your paper clip, you would take your piece of paper. So I just drew, I traced a circle, drew my cardinal points on it, my cardinal directions. So you would take your magnetized piece of metal, whether it be the needle in a cork or a paper clip, you would poke it through from north to south, which is very important. So you always want it to kind of try to point north. Then you'll cut this out. And what you do is just set the entire circle into the piece of paper. The piece of paper will turn until it finds due north, and then it should stop. And that's kind of how you know your direction is facing north, which I thought was pretty cool. I've actually made a couple of these in a couple of different ways. I have done the cork way. I like the paper clip way just because I don't stick myself as much.
Yeah, exactly. So let's see. I really like that. I didn't realize you could do it with paper and paper clip. I knew about the cork and I was struggling to get the needle into the cork.
All the way through. You know, if you use, they have yarn needles, which are, you know, longer and they're thicker. They will probably go through the cork a little bit easier because the regular sewing needle, you're going to struggle with it.
Awesome. Cool. Well, there we go. Well, I learned a lot about the compass rose. I don't know about everybody else, but that was, so we did identifying what a compass rose was and where do you find it on a map?
You know what? You actually will find it. So in my atlas that I found, my big giant atlas, it's kind of crazy because they don't have a compass rose just kind of sitting on any of these pages, but typically you'll find it in like the corner of a map. So nautical maps, so maps that you use while you're on the water, so boaters use these, and all kinds of road maps will typically have a compass rose on them. So I wonder if you, even on your GPS on your phones, should also have it if you want to look it up. So here's my phone GPS. And if you see right there is my compass. So as my phone moves directions, the compass moves directions. So on a map, on a paper map, you should find them in one of the corners, and it'll also tell you like your distance from mark to mark. Now, this is a big old atlas, okay? And I found it, and I said, you know what? Let me find where I live. So I looked up Ohio, so you can look up your index, okay? And so I am in Jefferson, which is right here. So I am like super close to the water, super close to the lake, but I am Northeast Ohio. So here is the Pennsylvania border. So I'm super close to almost being in a different state. But I'm right there, a little dink right there. But I think maps are fun because you can kind of go through them. I know when my son was little, he used to be really interested in just different states. So we would pull out the atlas and we would look up, you know, Texas and, you know, fun things that happened in Texas. And he was really interested in that. And it kind of gives you a perspective of how big the world is.
Awesome. I actually, there's a variety of ways. Nowadays, there's a lot of people use the internet to find where they're going.
Mm-hmm.
But when you're on a camp out and things like that, sometimes it's nice to just have a good old map, right?
Yep. You know what I could never figure out is those big paper maps that when you get them, they're all folded up really, really nice. But as soon as you unfold them, forget about it. You're never folding it the right way again.
I know. I pulled up a map from on the internet, and I was going to show how to find. So internet is just basically you type in your stuff. But if you look at how from the map online, I was going to show you where the scout office was. Which is
Okay, yeah.
So I'm going to share this online right now. 1 second. I'm going to share. Okay. So this should be on now. So we're in the United States. Say we start all the way up here. Now we are in Ohio, right?
Yep.
So that means we have to find Ohio, which is right there. So we want to go into Ohio. Now, where's our office located? It's not in Columbus, right? It's in the northeast corner.
Yeah, it's in Cleveland. Yeah.
It's in Cleveland. So then we go closer in. Now, we're not even in one of the suburbs or outskirts of Cleveland. So we're not in Lakewood or Parma.
Mm-hmm.
You have to actually go all the way into Cleveland, and it's on the corner of 22nd and Woodland. So you can take it all the way out from a global look down to a country, down to a state, and then down to your local area. And you can see all these different streets that are around it. Woodlands are the street we're off of, but all that fun stuff.
Do you know what I love? Kind of like the technology of maps. So, it started with, like a paper map or like an atlas, right? And then we went to, people used to print directions like off of MapQuest. I remember doing that and having to have somebody read them as you drive. And then you get, everybody's got a GPS in their car. So, I used to use this like all the time and plug it in, and it would tell me kind of when I was lost, which was forever. So it was always talking to me. And then, then we got them on our phones, which was really cool. But the thing I love about like Google Maps is you can type in any address and you can really, really zoom in and you can see kind of like the street view and, south on this street will show you this business and you can really see that. And I love seeing like the Google Maps car. Have you ever seen those driving around?
Yes.
You see they're kind of taking all the pictures of the businesses and updating all of the maps and stuff. And I think that's pretty awesome.
That's pretty awesome. So just by doing that, by finding a map, and if it's digital or paper, that is requirement 1A for using a map to find where you're located. So we have gone over a couple already. Now, just let me know when our artist has come back so we can do requirement 1B. Or unless
you know what, I think we can go ahead and maybe just
go ahead.
Yeah, just push through.
So let's do requirement 1B, which is draw a map for a friend so they can get to a specific location. You're going to need a paper and crayons or colored pencil or something. So I know that we have one already drawn. Do you want to show it for us?
So this is Jensen's. So it's important to remember when you're drawing your map that if you're making any kind of symbols, that you do create a legend and tell people what those symbols stand for. Otherwise, we're going to be lost. And he does have his compass rose right here. So he's got, I think might be upside down or sideways. But he does have southwest and east. So he's kind of got those intermediate points as well. So this is his map, and he's got different locations marked, and his legend is here too. So it tells you what each one of these symbols stand for.
Nice. Oh, I would love to know what different legends somebody can find on it. So if anybody in our comments want to post, I know that there's a train tracks, different things like that. So I'd love to hear what different things people like to find on their maps and their legends, or would put in their legends actually. So like when I drew mine, so let's see if I can get mine in the picture.
Oh, very nice. Yes.
My map was, I don't live by a park or anything, but I live by Covered Bridge Pizza, which is a staple in our community.
That is
So
fantastic pizza.
it is quite well. And so I drew a map to get there. So you go down my road and then up to our main road, which is which a lot of people actually probably Route 20, which is it's a big route. So we most likely wouldn't want to walk there, but take a car.
Yeah.
And you drive past the fire station, and then oops, I'm upside down. And then past the old McDonald's that's no longer there.
Mhm.
And then just after the state highway patrol, then it's right diagonal is where you find the pizza place, which is right over here.
Do you know what's so fantastic about your map, Brittany? Just because I know where Covered Bridge Pizza is, okay, I now know where you live based on your map.
There we go.
I'm not saying I'm bringing pizza over when this quarantine is over, but I'm not saying it either.
There we go. See, there was enough directions that she knows.
Yep.
So there we happen to live in similar areas, but
You had me at pizza.
Pizza.
Let's be honest.
Everybody loves pizza, right? So I have my legend, nothing nearly what we have over there, but I think I might even have a picture. Let me see if I can pull it up here of the different. While I'm pulling it up, do you know there's a variety of maps out there, right?
Mhm.
There's political maps, there's physical maps, there's topographical maps.
Yes.
What's a topographical map?
Isn't it the one where it shows the mountains?
Yeah. So that's there you go. And then I wonder if anybody in our comments can let us know, name a few different maps. I named a few, but there's still a bunch more out there. We'll come back to that in just a minute, and then we'll read off if we have any comments. But
I think one of my favorite things about maps of different locations. So we have a campground that we go to in the summertime. And when you kind of first check in, they give you a map of the entire property and tell you kind of where your site is. And yes, and their legend looks a lot like this. So it'll have like a swing set to show where the playground is. And it has like, let's see, like water to show like where the ponds are, the fishing ponds, and like a water and a fishing pole. So know you can fish there. And then just water with like somebody coming out of it to know that you can swim there. So I love the different kinds of symbols. And I just wonder, so are there any universal symbols that are on kind of like every single map of like a city, one symbol that they always use? What would be the symbol for hospital? So if I was looking at a map and I needed to find the hospital and I looked at the legend, what do you think what would I see to know that it was a hospital?
Well, I think it'd have to be something that we all would assume. So an H maybe?
Yes, and you can even actually see those as you're driving, like on like the exit signs. If there's a hospital on that exit, it'll say, it's like a blue and white H, and that automatically kind of tells you there's a hospital really, really close. So that's always something to remember if you're in an emergency, is look for that H.
Nice. Yeah, so there's tons of them. And then what about the big red? What about red? I think there's a lot of our signs that have red on it.
Mm-hmm.
When we think of red or green, but red. So we usually think of stopping. So that's red tends to be a universal color.
Yes.
So like our stop signs say the word stop, they also have a lot of red.
Yep.
Our lights, our traffic lights have red, yellow, and green, because in our brains now we think red don't go, green go.
Right.
So yeah, a lot of now when everybody goes to go do their driving test in a couple of years, it's important. Okay, let's see. No, we got a couple comments, but some about pizza and a sun, which is pizza and a sun. There we go.
See, we got everybody thinking about pizza for dinner.
I know. I haven't even thought about what I'm doing yet.
I'm never opposed to pizza.
Okay, so we talked a little about compass. And so requirement 2B is to use your compass and map to find different places located that are north, south, east, and west.
Okay.
So it's going to be a little harder for us to do it here, but I'm going to pull up this map. And we can at least point to the different areas. But when you're at home and you have a compass, you can take your compass outside and figure out which direction is what. So I'm going to share this. So I'm sharing this cool map. Can you see it now, Kaci?
Oh yeah,
Isn't that awesome?
that is pretty neat. And I
So,
see the compass rose there in the bottom right-hand corner.
yes.
It's fantastic.
And so we can use the compass rose to think about, okay, so we divide our country into 4.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so we've got divided in 4. So let me see. I'm going to pick a state, and then can you tell me if it's north, south, east, or west?
Okay.
Okay. Let's pick Maine.
Maine. Maine is northeast.
Oh, yes. You went.
I feel like you're trying to get me.
Maybe.
So if you guys want to look at the map in the northeast point of the United States, yep, right there where Brittany's circling, that is Maine. So that's way up there. They do a lot of catching crabs and all that kind of stuff up in Maine. So if that's something that gets you excited, I'm not a seafood person, but
Oh, I love seafood. Okay, let's see. What about Texas?
Texas is west, southwest.
Southwest. Okay.
And Texas is that big old giant state. Got cowboys and what is that? Oh, that's like a bull.
Yeah.
Got the horns.
Rodeos and stuff like that.
Mm-hmm.
Let's see. How about Washington?
Washington is northwest, so it's almost the complete opposite of Maine. So if Maine is northeast, and we already determined he was over here, Washington's going to be over there.
Mm-hmm.
Pretty rainy up there.
Yeah, pretty rainy.
Yep.
Okay, let's see.
Great coffee though.
Good coffee? Oh yeah, there's Seattle there.
Yep.
Let's pick California.
California is west.
Yeah, it's pretty dead center in the west. Yeah. And let's see, what about Louisiana?
Louisiana is south.
Mm-hmm.
I love Louisiana because it looks like a boot.
Doesn't it?
And that's how I always remember. That's Louisiana. It looks like a boot.
Mm-hmm. And oh, this is a trick one. Maybe, I don't know. What about Alaska?
Ooh. Alaska is actually north.
Yeah, kind of. It's a harder one.
Yeah, so it's not in the United States. Like it's not on the continent of the United States of North America. So it's kind of drifting off there, similar to Hawaii. So it's it's not connected by a landmass, but it is part of our country.
Yeah, so that's kind of a cool thing. All I did was I Googled United States map, and we're right there in the center. It looks like we have trees in our state.
All right. Oh yeah.
Yep. Trees, and I'm not really, in fact, is that a factory, I think? So.
One fun fact about Alaska, you can actually go on like an Alaskan cruise and see whales. Like you can just be on and they just swim right up, which I think is so awesome. And also they always have snow. It's always kind of chilly in Alaska. Their summer is kind of like our fall, beginning of winter. Like they don't really truly have like a hot summer like we have, like the heat and the humidity. So I don't know that I could live there. I like my heat.
Yeah, you like, I don't know, in the summertime I like my winter, and in my winter I like my summer, so that's kind of
you know what, as long as the sun is shining, I'm happy.
Yeah, it's been pretty. So we've been talking a little bit about different locations and places. And did you know what geography stands for?
What does it stand for?
Geography is the science of the Earth's surface. Geo means earth and grapho means right. So, so maps and compasses, the geography of of where we live and the world.
Yeah.
So that's kind of an interesting fact. So we've gone over compasses, compass roses, maps, legends, symbols. We've hit a lot of topics today.
Mm-hmm. A lot of information too. A lot of really fun facts.
A ton. So we're not going to be able to go on a hike because requirement number 4 is using a map and a compass to go on a hike. But you'll need a map, paper, writing materials so you can write down what you're doing and take your parents out or your siblings. But always make sure you ask before you go out. Make sure that your adult knows where you are. So that is requirement number 4. And requirement number 3 is to go on a scavenger hunt and find something. So I wrote something up. Now have some fun with your parents or your adult or your siblings and have them hide something for you. And write it up on a paper so you can go on a scavenger hunt. So what I wrote down was take 5 steps north.
Hold on, let me I'm going to stop you. So I'm going to go on this scavenger hunt. I'm going to get out my compass. I'm going to go on this scavenger hunt in my house. We did not pre-plan this. So I do not know what I'm going to find at the end of the scavenger hunt. Could be the dog, could be a shoe. Let's find out. All right.
Okay. You ready?
I'm ready.
Take 5 steps north.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
Skip 5 times to the east.
There's a wall.
Then don't skip into the wall. Walk backwards 12 steps south.
1, 2, 3, 4, 6, 7, 10, 11, 12. Okay.
Take 8 steps west. Here you will find your treasure. So I would love to know if you guys go on your treasure hunts and what you find at the end. That would be awesome to see in our comments at some point. Show us any pictures of your hikes. What did you find?
What I found on my scavenger hunt.
What did you find?
I found crayons.
Well, there you go.
They were just sitting in a little cup. So
hey, you never know what you're gonna find in your scavenger.
I'm gonna call that a win.
I do too. Whenever you find drawing utensils. Let's see. Okay. Well, that was our last requirement. Let me take us back to the beginning. Do you have anything else to add, Kaci?
I don't really think so. But I will say, I think it's important when you're creating or making your scavenger hunt with your family, siblings, parents, however you want to do it, make it fun. Mm-hmm. I would throw as many steps in there, and use your cardinal directions as much as possible. Move around, get kind of goofy with it, and have fun, because that's important. Have fun while learning, and keep your fingers crossed, because I hope we're on the upcline of nice weather. Super sunshiny today, so keep your fingers crossed, and then you can get out and do all those scavenger hunts. And then also, if you do go on a hike, take your essentials, take your compass, and maybe even take a trash bag and some gloves. And while you're out, make a whole project out of it and kind of clean up as you go.
That'd be fantastic. So that's 6 essentials is important. We didn't talk about that, but that's key. If you forget what they are, you can look them up before you go out. Mm-hmm. So what we took away from this today was following and giving directions, observing and reading a map. We learned our cardinal directions, north, south, east, and west, And how to remember how to read them?
Never eat soggy waffles.
Yes. Never eat soggy waffles. And we were navigating with a compass, like we just did on our scavenger hunt. We were working with others, and we didn't mention this yet, the buddy system. So never go out by yourself. Make sure you always have a buddy.
Yeah.
So I had a great time today.
Can I just make one comment about the soggy waffles?
Yes, you may.
Because all of my waffles always have Scout's own syrup on them, and they do not last long enough to get soggy. I will tell you. So they're gone pretty quickly.
Yeah.
So never eat soggy waffles.
Now it's never going to be out of your head.
Yeah, I know. I love it.
Sadie says she loves you.
Sadie.
And I think we've had a great time. We really appreciate everybody coming and having some fun time finding our way with our WOOF den meeting today. I sure had a good time, and I'm actually going to go out and I might make a longer scavenger hunt for myself. See if I can give it to my parents to find.
Oh yeah, I was gonna say, don't make it for yourself. You're already gonna know what's in there.
Exactly, and I have some fun little things. I have this treasure hunt packet I might use. We'll see.
Oh, nice.
So thank you, everybody. Have a great day. Tomorrow's activity den meeting is Tiger Den meeting, Tigerific. So hopefully you'll see you then. Have a good evening.
See you guys.